Video tools for sales and marketing professionals. Welcome. Thank you everyone for joining this morning. I hope the passion that I have for video and marketing just kind of comes through the screen and you guys are able to feel that. My website is tactusmedia.com, and I'll be referencing that quite a bit throughout this presentation because on this next slide, we have in the top right corner, you can see tactusmedia.com backslash slides. You'll be able to see I've uploaded all the slides for this presentation, and then you can see the presentations from February and January as well. But about me, I'm located in Portland, Oregon. I've been doing video production, gosh, since I was in high school, making fun videos with my friends in the backyard. I always loved that you could just make a video about anything, and that passion has grown into a professional development where I can help businesses grow and tell their story through the power of video. And then kind of, what makes a business? People. And so you're able to use the tool of video to help enhance your own personal brand. And so we'll talk about personal and public brand in the next couple slides here. But yeah, I'm talking about branding, which is a really exciting topic because the way that I understand brand, it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. And so using these tools such as a website, having a YouTube channel, a LinkedIn, all of these give you a presence that people can continue to interact with you when you're not in the room, which is we're in this digital age. It used to be just word of mouth or people knew you and all the interactions that you have, but now your reach is much greater. And we'll talk about video marketing. Those go hand in hand. The different types of video, there's a ton. I'm just going to go through just a few, but ones that are most impactful for you as a marketing or sales professional. Then we'll be talking about tools, and then the hot buzzword right now is artificial intelligence, AI. So I'll be talking about some of the tools that are available there. And then publishing your video, QR codes and email, which are other marketing tactics to be able to continue to keep that conversation going, and then a little case study at the end. And then I wanted to share a little authentic photo there. That's me and my wife, Emily, doing some editing. I think this was taken probably, I don't know, we work odd hours, so sometimes at 8, 9 p.m., a.m., and then a little Play-Doh for the 1-year-old. So, okay, let's jump right into this. Does anyone have any questions, I guess, before I get started? Does anyone have anything they really want me to touch upon? Okay, cool. I'm getting a head shake from Lauren. Thank you. All right, next slide. So yeah, I just talked about Tactus Media. Yeah, I started video in high school, but then we were founded in 2019. I decided to branch off on my own and start doing video production. I won't go through all of these, but what we do is we'll do a brand assessment so we can review your brand and all the ways that you use video. We create videos from beginning to end, from just your concept to publishing on YouTube is our main platform, though there are other types of videos that we've created. Content strategy, how you can use video cohesively, not just a one-off. Graphic design and motion, and then imagery, which can be like photo or some kind of graphic abstract. But something I'm really excited is that we have worked in a lot of different industries. So professional services, consumer goods, environmental sustainability. I won't say them all here. Nonprofit, construction. We've done a lot of work in here in the Northwest. There's a lot of lumber and wood products, and then some fun things like sports and home and garden. But all of this is on the Tactus Media website if you want to learn more. But yeah, jumping into brand, I think we all know kind of our personal brand, which is can be made up of your social media, and then you have a professional brand, which also is a form of social media, but might be a little bit more professional. So, what is brand? It's that relationship that you have with customers, maybe even with other coworkers. It's a kind of, I just want you to think of relationships, networking that goes along with brand. And yeah, the more that you are out there, whether you have blog posts, you have a LinkedIn page, you have a website, these all create credibility that allow people as they get to meet you, they learn more, they're able to say, "Oh, this is a someone that's knowledgeable and understands the industry and can maybe solve the problem that I am facing." and a level of professionalism. So you see here on the left, we have friends and family, which is, your Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Maybe you're a bit more of yourself on those. Um, which I'm not saying that you can't have a professional Snapchat or a professional TikTok channel, but just those, I would play around with those spaces and see if they actually are a good fit for your audience. Um, and something that I think can get a little overwhelming is that there's a lot of platforms out there. So just picking one or two that resonate with you and utilizing those. And then today we're talking about video. So I would say YouTube channel is a pretty good one to have. And then having a LinkedIn definitely in 2025 here. And then, yeah, on the right side, you'll see corporate, kind of your website. Maybe you're dressed a bit nicer for a nice profile photo on your website, your about you, and then LinkedIn. But this is it's kind of a gray area. Some of these are in between where, like for example, you see Pinterest there. Like you can have a personal Pinterest, or you can have a professional one, and all of these help. I'm not going to go into a deep dive down like SEO and how Google ranks all of these, but having the different links pointing to each other allows you to reach a little bit higher on just native Google search. So if someone were, you can even do this right now, search your own name and see what pops up on Google. And I always like this Jay-Z quote. You've come to a few of these presentations, so you've heard it, but I'm not a businessman. I'm a business, comma, man. So, or woman, or however you identify. But that is how you can start to think of yourself, is that you are the business. No matter how, disconnected, maybe hire a bunch of employees, but you're still kind of the face of the business, and you're making those interactions. And I think there was a ruling that businesses they're kind of treated as people. They have a lifespan, and gosh, I don't know where I'm going with that, but they have a lifespan, and they have their own rights, and it's very fascinating. Obviously, this isn't a legal course. This is just talking about video marketing. Okay, back from that tangent. So video. Why do I like video? It's a awesome way to showcase your personality. Just I know it can be daunting. You're pressing the record button, you're looking into a camera, but it allows people to resonate and they can see a human being. With just having text and on a blog post or on a website, that you can show some personality, but really seeing someone and being able to see like how they're, I don't know, seeing a friendly face, and they're talking to you makes a big difference. Kind of like what I'm doing here on this presentation. What's also cool about video, it's passive education. You press a play button, sit back, pull out some popcorn, and just you can learn in a passive way. And it has a long tail effect. So you put video out, and I find with some of the videos that I've made that they maybe don't get traction for a couple years, and then all of a sudden they can take off if you're talking about a specific topic that people are seeking out. And something that's a bonus feature is that it's very repurposable, that you can use a lot of different assets of one filming in a lot of different ways. In previous presentations, we talked about that specifically last month, where we were talking about video strategy. But just for examples, from one video, you can take a bunch of screenshots midway through. Someone like, for example, you're filming yourself. Maybe there's a shot where you were smiling. You can screenshot that, use that as content. You can do behind the scenes content, and much, much more. And then on the right column here, talking about marketing. So as opposed to just making a video and putting it I don't know, like how I started recording your friends trying to do backflips on a trampoline in your backyard. Well, that's just making a video, but marketing, it has an intention. So you put some forethought into recording it, and then it has a connection to other videos. It has a purpose. It's not just recording just to record. And connecting to an overall strategy. Again, I won't be able to dive deeply into strategy today, but if you watch the last webinar, or if you want to reach out to me personally, I create custom strategies for every client that I work with. And it's a promotional tool. So you're using it to put your best face forward, and being able to get traction, and I don't know, just showcase yourself to the world. So combining those two. Yeah, so then there's a lot of different types of videos out there, and I don't want to go through all of them, but ultimately, so you'll see right there, there's a book, Get Clients Now by CJ Hayden. Fantastic book. It's a little bit of a dense read. Read it definitely in parts, but the ultimate goal of your sales process and all of this is to lead to a presentation. And so, someone, whatever their journey might be, they do a presentation with you, and you could do a pre-recorded presentation, which isn't quite as custom, but it can give people a sense of what you do. And so often that would look like a webinar. Maybe you talk someone through the process of what it's like to work with you. And then, yeah, they can. You can do a general one they send out, and maybe have a good conversation with a customer and you say, hey, here's a presentation that I put together. You can send that out. Or you can record a one-on-one presentation that you do with a client. Maybe you can say, hey, can I take out your information and just use this presentation? And that's a good way to just show people what you do and allow them to learn more. The next one, this will be focusing heavily on today, is the about video. I think about videos are awesome. It's a good way to, one, like we just talked about, showcase your personality. You're able to briefly talk about what it is that you do and maybe showcase your passion and tell people directly how they can get in contact with you. And then the next one, this is kind of a little bit more advanced, but maybe there's a how-to that a video that you could showcase to your customer, something in your industry, something in your field. For example, I do video production, so I could do a how to set up your tripod or how to get the best audio. These are all kind of different ideas, but start thinking. The goal of the today's presentation is just get you thinking about it and start getting the gears turning. Um, Yeah, if you hear me pausing, I hear the little baby in the background crying. So my dad's sense gets starts to tingle when you're like, should I go help? But yeah. So the next thing to think about is, so we're gonna get into the nuts and bolts of how to make a video. But right now, let's think about, so what is the whole point of this? Why even make a video? Well, you want to drive traffic to your website. And so these are just a few platforms. One, mainly these ones are video heavy. So, you post a video on YouTube, and then what do you want someone to do? Well, you'd like them to go to your website. And since we're just talking about video marketing, maybe you would hire a website developer who could make you have a really nice website. And then when they're from your website, the next goal would be to make contact with you. If they've vetted you and see that you're a good fit, now they're reaching out, and then you respond and lead to a calendar meeting. And so you can eventually just do a presentation, like we talked about on the previous slide. And a little bonus is Calendly, fantastic platform. There's a few other ones as well. What is it? I think Acuity. Yeah, they're kind of slipping my mind, but I like Calendly. Really easy way for someone to see your calendar, and they're able to jump on there, and you're able to connect and put together a presentation. Is that all kind of making sense, everyone? Oh, okay, Lauren, you have a question?
I have been interested in making a
Oh, let me
video.
see. Hold on. I think okay, now I think I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I think it's just on my end.
I was just thinking, like, I have been so interested in making a video for my website, but it just feels like such an obstacle. Like the
Hmm.
script and, um, not sounding so salesy. But I understand, like, if it's so, like, it's such a good way for people to get to know you without
Hmm.
having to actually have a call. It's like just breaks down some barriers, I feel like. But, yeah, I don't know if other people have feel like it's an obstacle to get like
Oh
it seems
yeah.
such a um I don't know, it's more vulnerable.
Like a hurdle or something. Yeah, I totally hear you. I think that probably resonates with a lot of the people on the call here, and myself included, because it's I video maybe comes a little easier to me because I grew up doing it, but like for me, an obstacle was like writing. I like writing, it's fun, it's enjoyable, but like I've yet to put out like a newsletter for this year. And so I think it's just what we all have our different strengths and whatnot. But I would say maybe accountability would be good. You set a goal date that you want to like record the video, and you block out that time. Put it out like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance, and you have a goal like I'm gonna record this video today on this day. And yeah, maybe this is getting kind of the gears turning. Maybe we make a group where like everyone can hold each other accountable to like, did you make your video? And I know that always like really, if I'm in a group and like, oh, I haven't made it yet, then people will be like, oh, why not? And then maybe you can kind of work through some of those hurdles. But it is daunting.
Yeah.
So I'll dive into this next part, and I'll kind of talk through my process as well. Um, because I actually this morning for this call, I went and recorded my video. So I walked up and down the block holding the camera in my hand, and that can feel kind of weird. You're looking around, is anyone looking at me or cars going by? Um, but I would say we're kind of in this day and age now where people are like, okay, people have their Bluetooth on. People are looking at, there's like way weird, and we live in Portland. There's like way weirder things going on out there. So, or I live in Portland. But yeah, we'll talk about that in the next couple slides, and I'll definitely lean into that, Lauren, because I think there's probably a few things like it's an uncomfortability of just like a vulnerability, I think I heard you say, and looking into the eye of a camera kind of has its own thing, and then knowing what are you gonna say, and putting all of these kind of perfection things around it too. I think we want to sound professional. We want to sound really good so people want to work with us. But I think what I found through my recording this morning, and this is jumping ahead, but having the little hang-ups and blips while you're talking actually makes you sound more human. And people just want to, and I think you're not trying to solve all the problems with one video. It's just kind of like a little, like a hook or something of a book. You're just like, little, hey, this is who I am. This is why I'm passionate. Let's work together and something like that. And if they want to learn more information, that's where these other tools come into play, like a website, or maybe you have a blog post that really dives deep into your processes. But yeah, we'll keep diving into that. Thank you for that question. And I totally hear you where it can be an overwhelming thing, especially I think public speaking and things like that. It's like are terrifying next to death. It's like death is no, it's public speaking, and then death is number two. So, yeah, this will be good. This will be some good coaching. Okay, so these are the four pillars when making a good video. So it's mislabeled up at the top. It should say four pillars. But camera, the equipment, what are you going to record your video with? Two, getting good audio. A great quote that I heard is no one will notice good audio, but they will definitely notice when you have bad audio. And next is composition. So where are you going to be framed? Are you in the middle of the frame? Are you looking off to the side? And then lighting. Lighting is huge. So um, yeah, even like right before this call, I adjusted the window light, and these Logitech kind of web cameras, they don't give you a lot of customability, and same with the camera on your phone. Some of them have a little bit more customability where you can actually plug in. I think it's called ISO, which is what the card is pump. It's like using its own systems to bring up the brightness. There's aperture, which is like kind of that depth of field, and then frame rate is the other one. I think I got that right. I don't have my notes right in front of me. But yeah, those three things working together, but your cameras will automatically do all of that, and they'll work together, and they'll do that. But that's what a pro will do is they actually dial in each of those, and they don't just say auto, because as the sun changes, as all of that can shift. Okay, so as you see here, let's go through these pictures that are on the screen. So on the left, you see a camera. So this is someone holding it. So if you're going to record, you can hold your camera, and that has one level of ability there, which you're going to have a shake if you're holding your camera, but that's okay. I think the point of these is to be as authentic as possible if you're doing a sales or marketing present video like we're talking about here. Um, And then the next part, some people use a selfie stick. That's what I was thinking. That's something else people use. Or you can set it down. And we'll talk about that on the next slide. But this was just kind of the general, these four pillars. And then getting good audio. So proximity is like how far are you away from the audio source? So on your cell phone, the audio is here at the bottom, as you're talking on the phone. So keep that in mind that where's that microphone pointing at? And something I learned in school that's a good rule of thumb is about 2 feet away is good. No further, no closer, because then closer you'll start getting pops, pop sound in your audio or it's peaking and yeah, it's unaudible. And then if it's too far away, you can't pick up the sound. And then noise. This is something where you kind of train your ears. When I was recording, walking down the street, it's like, is there a garbage truck going by? Is there a car going by? That's all going to pick up on the audio. Things like birds or I don't know. I was gonna say baby crying, but yeah, you probably don't want baby crying in the background. But yeah, things like birds, some ambient sound is okay because that's that authenticity coming through. And then the middle, we talked about composition. You'll probably want to be in the middle of your frame for this type of video. We won't dive into the other ones. Like I come from a documentary background where maybe you have the subject sit to the side and they look across the frame and they're not looking directly at the camera. But for what everyone here on the call is doing for that sales video, being right in the middle is totally fine. And then lighting, getting good lighting. I put a window here because you can go out and buy a lighting kit, but really you have an awesome free natural source called the sun, which is up there, and we all have access to that. So being next to a window gets you really nice ambient light, or even just recording your sales or about video outside. Okay, so this was big picture. Now let's dive into some of the more specifics. Oops, actually, there's this slide here. So we already talked about this. Handheld's one way of filming. Another way is setting up your camera using some books and just talking into it. And the third option is to hire a pro. And this is actually probably helpful to everyone on the call here. Uh, Lauren, Al, you might enjoy this. It's tactusmedia.com/phone-tips. And there I do a breakdown of these different styles and just have some visual examples of how to set up your camera when you're doing your first video recording. All right, so yeah, here I'm gonna jump ahead. So we are gonna talk about scripting. So I'm gonna tell you exactly how to like break down your script when you're talking into the camera. But before we get into that, here's the three kind of locations that come to mind for me when it comes to recording your first like about video. Or even if you're sending a video off to a client, you're having that interaction. Maybe you're in the office, maybe you're in your car or on a walk. So the pros and cons of all of these. Office is a controlled environment. You're in your space if you have access to your own office or space. Uh, but it can look a little bit more, I don't know, stifled or just it doesn't have a ton of personality. You're just in your own space there. And it might, a lot of office, even this room right here, isn't really soundproofed correctly. So the audio is going to bounce off the ceiling and everything. But that's probably overthinking it. It's still a great space to film in your office. Another spot is in your car. Now, the thing with the car is the audio is actually really, really good. I think people, when I was in journalism school, they would often say, "Hey, bring your subject into the car and do your audio recording there." And surprisingly, the acoustics in the car are really, it's nice and contained, keeps outside noise relatively out. And there's something about, I think it's just because the seats capture a lot of sound. Like in these soundproofed rooms that people have, they often put a big couch or mattresses against the walls to create the best audio. But again, that's all overthinking a lot of this. But in the car feels like natural. I, obviously recommend not driving and recording, but you'll see some Instagram videos, people out there, they'll be driving and then they'll be talking at the same time. And that has its own level of appeal and its own level of authenticity. Yeah, you can see a little car seat in the background there, so that showcases even more personality. And then going on a walk. So the walk one is actually, I think it's a lot more probably daunting in your mind than it is in reality. Uh, I think I was able to knock out my about video in under 10 minutes. So, I walked down the block and back again, and I was able to do three recordings. I felt pretty good about the third one, and it was a great day. You go on a walk, so you're getting some exercise. And yeah, it looks cool. I think for the audience, they're able to, if they're bored of looking at you, they can at least tune into the background and see what's happening there versus the two other locations. The office is just going to be static and your car is just going to be static as well. So I think the point here is, the power of video is it's engaging. You press that play button and it's playing, and the walk feels like you're going from one point to the next. That's the thing is that, like a good video takes you on a journey. It takes you from it's like kind of unfolds, and that's getting a bit more in the weeds of overall story in video. But your about video is a story. It starts with you and ends with how can people get a hold of you and get in contact. All right. So let's see. You know what the tools are. You know a little bit about audio, a little bit about composition. Different. You maybe have a location now in mind of where you'd want to film this video. And then what are you gonna say? You press that record button, and you're like, uh-oh, what am I gonna say now? And it's good to have a general idea of what you want to say before you press record to save yourself some editing time. But what's really nice is in today's we don't have film that was really expensive. You have your phone, it's digital. So record a bunch of different takes and find which one you like, and you can always just delete it and create more space later. But for my script, or what I think was a really good one is your name and title. So mine's, hey, I'm Brian Cargill. I'm a video marketer. And then I also added here in Portland, Oregon, so that way people know how to get a hold of me. Um, and then here, and keep in mind, each of these would just be one sentence. So this next middle part, your why, how started passion, I would just pick one of those and just make that one sentence. And then for me, my why is I wanted to help. Uh, Here we have one more person joining the call. I'm just gonna wait up for someone to join. Hey, thanks for joining us, Knowledge and Strategy. Yeah, I'll put the recording out at the end, and you'll be able to get access uh, later to what we already missed. But I'm just gonna keep rolling along. But we're talking about making your first about you video. And so here's a general outline of a script. And so your name, title, and then this next, and each of these, like I mentioned, everyone, it's a little bit of a repeat, but each of these would just be one sentence. And so then your why, or how you got started, or why your passion. And for me, my why is I was looking out in the corporate world and I realized there wasn't a lot of very good video storytelling being done in an authentic way. And then the next would be your personality. So it really shouldn't be personality, it should really say personal. So how can people relate to you as a person? So for me, I talked about, hey, I have my uh, I have a 1 year old and my wife, and we like to spend time by going to coffee shops. We spend a lot of time at the library, and that personal side allows people to know that hey, you're not just. I think Lauren, you talked about earlier, you don't want to come across as a sales, very yeah, very salesy. And I think what makes someone not just a salesperson, but someone that's a little bit relatable is, do they like to go to the movies? Do they like to do things that are outside of just whatever their job is? Do they have hobbies? And can you showcase that? And then how can they get a hold of you? And for corporate or for marketing jargon, that'd be a call to action. So what would be the next step? They watch this video, then what action would you want them to take? And the best call to actions in my mind are just one. So for me, I said, hey, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll get back with you as soon as possible. And let's see. Yeah, really, let's see. If you go to Tactus Media /slides, you'll see my example videos. I think next time I do this presentation, I'll actually play my video, so then you'll see it. But you can see my examples underneath, and I did two different styles. Actually, I have it right here. Let's see if this works. Okay, it's not letting me show it on the screen. But I did my two examples where it's a static one, me looking into the camera, I propped it up, and then the other one is me walking down the street. So they both have their different feel. And I think you just think about your audience and who will be watching and what would resonate with them. If you work in a very corporate industry, then maybe you're dressing up, pretty nice, like you're going to a dinner party or something. But if your audience is more casual, maybe you just wear a shirt. I recommend kind of staying away from logos. If you're trying to represent your own brand, maybe not wearing like, Coca-Cola or something. And then yeah, pro tips at the bottom. One sentence, I think brevity is the key for this. So one sentence each. This video would just be 30 seconds or less. And if you're gonna write out to each of these, say it out loud, what you're gonna say, because we write much differently than how we speak, which is a big thing that I think when I'm working with new people that are new to videos, they want to write it like they're writing an essay, but then when you're actually speaking, we use slang or shortened versions often, and so keep that in mind. All right, let's go to the next slide. So I'm going to take 5 minutes here, and just so everyone on the call doesn't walk away empty-handed, we're going to do just a 5 minutes. It's 10:37 now, and we'll come back at 10:42. But I'd like everyone here to work on your own outline of what you would want to do for your first about video. And so if you're kind of hung up, you can pull out your phone and you can scan my QR code and you can see my example. That's my corporate one here. The most recent one that I recorded this morning, I put on the slide deck on Tactus Media /slides if you want to see two different versions. But essentially, this is the outline. Hi, my name is, or hello, whatever feels normal to you, and you are whatever your title is and your why, why, and I think that as soon as you say the word passion, people like they can see that in your eyes, and it kind of lights up and comes through. And then when you're not working, what do you do in your free time? And then call to action, connect with me at LinkedIn or go to my website or email me at yourname.com. But yeah, we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back in 4 minutes here. I think, yeah, to Lauren's question earlier, something that came to mind, I think with recording your first video or videos in general, it's like anything, you have to practice it. And so at first it can feel like it's anything that we're starting out new. It feels awkward, it feels clunky. But then when you do your next one, when you do your next one, you build up that confidence. It feels a little better. So, I wouldn't put too much pressure. Your first time recording this video, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like record it knowing that it's not gonna be like you don't make this video. You're not gonna make this video and then in I don't know in the year 2030 you're probably not gonna still be using this video. It's gonna evolve and change over time. So um, maybe every few months you record a new one, or once a year you record a new about video. Um, but that has a little caveat to it. I talked about hiring a professional. That was one of the things I tried to create some of these videos to last a long time, but that's also I was using, big production equipment and all that. Right now the stakes are super low. You can walk outside, use your phone, record it. If you don't like it, at the very best, you went on a good walk and you got a little better at speaking into the camera, and you come back and try again later. I like to use that time because I know with everyone's busy schedule, hop off the call. You're like, oh, that's great, a lot of good information. But then actually taking the time, blocking out the time to write this out now, I feel like at least you'll have something and you're not walking away empty-handed. And if anything, you got better at writing and you actually maybe thought about why are you passionate about what you do. Does anyone want to share theirs? Anyone? Lauren? All right. Thank you, Lauren. That'd be awesome.
Okay, I wrote it all out.
Cool.
based on your formula here. So, hi there, my name is Lauren Downey, and I'm the owner of Found Marketing, a mini PPC agency focused on generating leads using pay-per-click advertising. I'm passionate about this because we know how important this is for businesses to scale revenue and how important it is to find the right partner to work with. When I'm not working, I enjoy spending time with my family, baking bread, gardening, reading, and hosting meetups in my city. Connect with me if your business is looking for a personalized pay-per-click strategy and execution and you want to start growing your business.
Nice. Yes. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah,
You're
thanks for sharing.
welcome.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. I think that was your first time ever saying it out loud, right? So
Yes.
there was
Yeah.
probably in that you're like, "Oh, maybe I would like," because
Yeah.
the way we talk is you'd probably phrase it a little bit. I think that's wonderful. And I
Hmm.
think and like I said, when you say passionate, you're like, "Oh, wow, like you can definitely see like this is why you're, in that
Hmm.
industry and why you're able to help clients through pay per click." Yeah, I thought it sounded really good. I think that was probably about like six sentences, maybe
Yeah.
seven.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know like how much I want to talk about like what I do outside of work. I guess it's another way people might can relate to me, but yeah,
hmm
I think yeah, sometimes I'm not sure like what's important to say.
Yeah, you can play around with it. I think
Mhm.
the baking bread thing really was interesting. I thought that was like so like if you maybe like two maybe like I think I found a lot of people they say like a hobby
Mhm.
and spend time with my pets or something like that or spend time with family. But yeah, if something that they could like hang there like imagine if someone had a conversation with you like I also like to bake. I saw your video. I like to bake bread too. And then you have this whole fun
Like,
conversation
yeah.
with a customer that's not just like, work related stuff. So, no,
Yeah,
that's
I think it
cool.
helps build rapport and,
hmm
connect on a different level. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess, and then the only other thing I kind of heard was like you started with like the acronym, PPC.
Hmm.
Maybe just
I
say
know.
pay per click, and
Yeah.
then you can shorten it up because but I don't know. Then again, like a lot of this is nuance. Like the audience that you're speaking to, they need to know what that is to even like
And
there's
if
a
they're,
threshold. Like for
yeah.
me, like I work with people like if you don't know how to do a QR code, you're probably not like the best fit for working with me. Like they have to have a degree of like knowledge
Hmm.
of this stuff and know why they're seeking out your services.
Hmm.
But I thought it was excellent. I think that would be cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could go down the street saying those four buckets and then you'd have a video. And then you can always like it's just one more tool in your toolkit. But yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you for sharing, Lauren. I know that takes a lot of vulnerability and a lot of putting yourself out there and talking on camera too. So thank you for
Mhm.
that. And Allie and knowledge strategy execution. I'm sure you have really good outlines as well. And yeah, the next challenge is to go out and do this. Okay, so this is me recording mine. So I assume everyone here kind of knows how to, do a recording on their phone. But you go to the camera setting, go to video, and boom, the red button, that's record. But then after you press record again, to stop recording, then you have the video, and you don't want the stuff on the front or the back end, right? Where you're pressing the button or maybe holding the camera up. So trimming it is a big part of it. So when you go to edit, you can start trimming the front and the back end. So you see that slide on the left, that's me trimming the front part, which is me just pressing the record, getting it all situated, and then the end in case you don't, want to use any of that. And then, unfortunately, on the phone, there's not a ton of editing tools native to, and I'm talking just Apple. I think Android probably has it a little different. But you can go over to these different filters, and then you can choose the degree of how intense the filter is. So that'll at least bump up the quality a bit. So if you look between these two images, the one on the left is a little more as we would describe as flat. It doesn't have a lot of depth of the dark tones. And so the one on the right has more contrast. Like you can kind of in the dark areas, you see that they're darker, and then the light areas are lighter. That's kind of what I'm saying with when I say contrast. And I found that tool just to the right, Vivid, that filter worked out pretty well. And then just bumping it down. But Some tools that you can download on your phone. CapCut is really popular. So within CapCut, you can use that app and actually adjust color. You can adjust like graininess. Sometimes you can put vignetting on there. These are all like probably too in the weeds of tools for what we're doing here, but there are ways to kind of enhance the video slightly so it looks a little better. And then what I use is that logo at the bottom right is Adobe Premiere Pro, which is way too much for what you all are trying to do, but just wanted to let you know that that's a tool that I use, and it's a paid subscription, $300+ a year to use that, but um, industry standard. And there's some other ones, but yeah, essentially just know that you can edit the video slightly. Probably the biggest thing is just the front and the back ends. And if it looks grainy or doesn't look super perfect, that's okay because the whole point of this is just to showcase your personality and talk into the camera. And then, like I mentioned, I was gonna here's some AI tools that are available. This is the one that I've gotten some good use out of, which is called Opus Clip. I think it's opusclip.ai. Don't quote me on that, but if you type in Opus Clip on Google, you'll find it. And really simple. You could take that video that you just recorded, you're about, and you can drag it in there, and it will add captions onto your video, and it'll even say I guess for your about video, it'll be about 30 seconds, so it won't make multiple clips. But if you were to record a much longer, maybe say like a 5 minute long or 10 minute long presentation, I found that it can create little 30-second clips from each of those. So from a 5 minute presentation, that's 10 new clips that you have and now captioned. And I would edit the captions, definitely review them. They're not perfect, and they'll throw some fun emojis in there. So I don't know, depending on if what your audience is, maybe they do or do not want emojis, they could hurt your imagery a little bit. But yeah, I think Opus Clip is really cool, and they'll give you a score rating on how well they think a clip will do. So um, yeah, there's a free, I think they give you like 10 minutes free, and then there's a paid version. And then the other AI platforms that say that again, Lauren?
Is Opus Clips mainly for yeah, social media then?
Yeah, that vertical format.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you probably have seen some advertisements for it, but I found it's really nice, and it does that cool like pop out captions because captions can adding those manually onto a video can take a lot
Yeah.
of time, so it
Okay.
saves a lot of time there. And yeah, I think yeah, I've even done it with like say like this webinar for example. I could plug in that webinar and it'll pull out the bits from the webinar and create stuff. So saving video editors tons of time, but it's not perfect, and it's using algorithms to try to pull out the best nugget. Whereas I think the advantage, someone hiring someone that's actually a video editor is they can listen through and actually see where the best parts are because I don't know. This is the constant debate with AI is like they don't know where the heart is, like what's going to resonate with people, and so because it's a computer, and only we know that. So. I could go in a whole discussion about AI versus people. But it's kind of like if you were, if AI can make some really beautiful art, but would you go to an art gallery to go see AI made content? I don't know if we're in that. Maybe not, but it would feel artificial. It's kind of like artificial sweetener. You want the real thing, and so especially uh, video is an art form. Like writing is an art form, like drawing is an art form, so is video. Uh, and then there's some other AI options, which is Flicky and Wondershare, Filmora. Yeah, it's kind of like, and back on that strain of talking about like authenticity, it's like, yeah, you could probably upload your stuff into an AI and it could record this about video of you. But I don't think that would resonate with your customers. What resonates is they would see you actually going out there, and if you're stumbling on your words and you're feel nervous, like that's going to come through, but that resonates with the audience and they actually are like, oh, this is a real human being that I'm working with. Like that's what you want is that authentic, that real relationship. All right, so you've recorded your video, you've edited. Now what do you do? Now it's up to publishing. And you could publish this on LinkedIn if you're feeling bold. Put on LinkedIn, hey everyone, I just made this about video. I just want to be top of mind in this industry. If you have any questions, like reach out. Um, Maybe I think the next time I do this presentation, I'll put an actual example on LinkedIn and what that would look like. But you're just doing your kind of your standard post, and not just limited to LinkedIn. Maybe you have an audience on Facebook. Maybe you have an audience on Instagram, Snapchat. You could post it there. Uh, but if you're Lauren, I understand with like the trepidation, I feel the same way. And so maybe you do what's called a soft launch. So maybe you don't want the whole world to see this like video and it feels like that's a lot of pressure. You do a soft launch. So you just put it on your own company website where if people go on your website, they would see it. Or you put it on your YouTube channel, which is a little less soft because YouTube is powered by Google. So if someone Google searches, they might find it there. Um, but yeah, it's where you don't do a bunch of promotion behind it, say, hey, this new video and all these, go check it out. It's just, it lives there. And if people find it, they find it great. If they don't, no harm, no harm done. But I kind of lean a little bit more of the soft launch because, can be, yeah, nerve-wracking and vulnerable putting yourself out there and maybe just put it out there you see for a little while and um a lot of it's like kind of anecdotal. Maybe someone says, oh, I watched that video, it was really cool, and I saw the thing about bread. That's really like, I know it seems like kind of silly, like some of the hobbies, but that's how people, or maybe you're a big sports fan and people can connect with you there. And then the advanced technique would put on Linktree. I like Linktree. I think a lot of I've had discussions with clients back and forth about whether or not they like Linktree, but really easy QR code, find all these links to everywhere you may exist versus if it's on your website, it could be clunky and they have to look through it. But here on Linktree, they've made a really nice platform. They have an app, but you would put your about video could be one of the tiers on this here. For me, I have the about video on my YouTube channel, so you could just go to click on YouTube or yeah, it's a cool way to interact. A lot of links. It's a good way to organize if you just have a ton of tools at your disposal. And it's just I think the big point of all of this is meeting your audience where they're at. And so some people are readers, and so they like to read a newsletter or they like to read a blog post. Some people are listeners, and so maybe they listen to a podcast. And some people are visual, and they also, and so watching a video, and video kind of touches upon a few of them. It's the trifecta. You're seeing it, you're hearing it, and then I know. Yeah, it's reinforced with the audio. Yeah. Gosh, sorry. I got mush
I had a
brain
quick
from.
question.
Yeah, what's up, Lauren?
One, I want to mention that knowledge strategy execution did have a question in the chat,
Oh,
but
thanks.
also for posting, do you recommend like I have a company LinkedIn page and then I have my personal LinkedIn page. So, um, I guess you could use both, like post your video on both your page, your company and personal page, or do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, when you just to clarify, your personal page, is it still professional or is it just kind of like what like friends and family?
No, my personal LinkedIn
Oh,
page.
personal LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if it's not an about your company video, and it's just
Mhm.
you, I would post it on yours and then you could share it with like use the share link and repost it onto your company one.
Hmm.
Versus like
Okay.
say if it was found marketing, that would be its own video and that would live specifically on the company page. But I would say either or because you are like kind of the face of the company right now.
Mhm.
Um yeah. Was that
Okay.
helpful? I guess that was kind of a vague answer. It's kind of like I would leave it up to you what feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Because maybe uh like where what your audience is on each of those platforms. So like that'd be
Hmm.
like another soft launch thing. Maybe it's like a soft launch would be just on your personal and you don't post on the main company page if you don't love the video or something like that. But yeah, you can maximize it more sharing it onto the company. Like, so I would post it on natively onto your personal and then share it onto the company, and that would just help the reach of it overall because
Hmm.
more people would see it. Um, but
Okay.
yeah, and then I would maybe stray away from posting the same video on both because then it can cannibalize. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
but what you could do
Okay.
is you could post it on LinkedIn on YouTube and then share the YouTube video onto the LinkedIn, and then you'd actually have a little bit more long tail. Because I feel like when you post something on LinkedIn, it like kind of gets lost in the threads, and like it keeps getting pushed down. Versus like if it's on YouTube, you'll keep seeing like the. Do you have a YouTube channel for found marketing?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Or one for your personal. So that might be something exploring
No.
too, is found
Okay.
marketing, especially and it you can do about video, but I feel like doing similar what I'm doing here, webinars, so you could have a series of a lot of good educational tidbits to share with people. Um, yeah, hopefully that's helpful. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe YouTube channel, put it there, and then share the YouTube link onto LinkedIn. It doesn't do as well, I guess technically on LinkedIn. And so, yeah, I'm gonna just give you a bunch of information. I'm gonna defer to you to like make the best decision. But just a little tidbit, like on all these platforms, if you post the content natively, it tends to do better. So if you upload directly to LinkedIn, but I like to see the analytics, and I think YouTube is a really good play space. So I usually upload to YouTube and then share that link, so then I can track I can keep all my analytics within YouTube. But
Okay.
sorry,
Thanks.
a
Thanks
lot
for
of
talking.
information. Yeah, it's kind of and vague, but yeah, just getting to post it. I think not overthinking it. Recording the video, just post it, and then you can repost in a couple months, or you can edit it a little bit and repost it. I think something we get hung up on is you only get one chance to post something, but uh, I see people repost a video from a year ago all the time, and it continues to get likes and views. Okay, let's see. I was gonna thank you for the questions in the chat. I didn't have it on the side here. Do 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 do. Oh, thank you, Ali. Owner consulting business on legal and compliance. Cool. Yeah, I think this is a really good way to showcase. If you're kind of in, so I come from a financial background, you gotta always, yeah, in compliance, making sure everything is to code. But I think if you're doing an about video, you're not saying anything that's too deep in the weeds. You're not giving legal or financial advice. You're just talking about yourself. So it keeps it really simple, kind of very surface level. And then yeah, welcome here. And then knowledge strategy. Is this good for Facebook ads too? Last presentation we kind of talked a little bit more about Facebook ads, but yeah, I think it is an ad in and of itself, your about video, but it's not one you had to do any paid for. So you could put it on your Facebook and it lives there, and you just share it natively. And then to make it an ad, you could pump it up and put some money behind it, and so it gets more visibility. You could boost it, but yeah, it's an ad within itself, but not as salesy. I think we're kind of trying to move away from like that salesy. You're just talking about yourself, casually. This is who I am. This is why I like to do what I do, and this is how you can get in contact with me. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, if you're looking for more about like Facebook ads in general, it's really nice. Lauren's actually on the call, so if you want to do paid per click, Lauren's a good resource. Or check out my last presentation, and we went a little bit deeper into content strategy and how you could do some paid behind your Facebook ads. Okay, so now there's only a few more slides left. I know we're right here at 11, and we started a few minutes after the hour. But a couple more slides. But really quickly, if you wanted to rate yourself, an F would be you don't have any video, which it should I don't like the term F because it feels mean. Maybe it's like NA. So just you don't have a video yet. Where A would be the more videos you have. So maybe you have that about video. You have a presentation video, and you have a few how-to explainer, and maybe even a personality video, like happy there's some business owners. Maybe you say like happy 1 year anniversary, happy 3 year anniversary, 5 year. Those are always fun. But yeah, and then these are the platforms. Do you have these on your website? Do you have it on LinkedIn, YouTube, Linktree? And it's totally okay if you don't, because the whole point of this presentation is just get the gears turning and getting you more familiar, more comfortable with this. This is creating a QR code. So once you've made your video, and these are some a little bit more advanced tactics, but I think they're really fun. I think QR codes a few years ago were not, everyone's like, what's a QR code? Why would I pull that out? But now people, they can pull out their phone, get to their camera so quickly, and you can scan a QR code and learn a little bit about whatever the organization is. Or maybe you're sitting around the table at a restaurant and now they have the QR code and you can pull up the menu right away. So just trying to think of how can you make it as easy as possible for your customers, for the people that you want to do business with. And so bit.ly.com, awesome way to make QR codes. You can see right there, you plug in your link and you press the QR code creation button, and then you can actually make it in a lot of different types of colors, and there's customability to it, and free, which is nice. And then kind of building upon that, this is how you can use a QR code like in your email signature, which so maybe you've made your video, now you have a QR code that goes to your link tree or goes to that about video, and people can scan it and they learn a little bit more about you. The thing that's kind of annoying within email signatures is you can't embed your video directly there, but just again making it as easy as possible. So maybe they can find it, having your website information, having the QR code right there, and just making it easy. But if you go to settings, and this is for Gmail, if you go to settings, click on the little gear hub, see all settings, and then you can edit your email signature. And a good way for doing design, a free one that's really popular, canva.com. Go on Canva, and that's not what I used to make this. This was a combination of Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. But yeah, having a custom look to your email signature is a nice way to just continue that conversation and to look the professional part. And so let's go to kind of talking. I'm gonna jump ahead, kind of talking about that journey. So they watch your video, they go to your website, then they're emailing with you, and you have the email signature, and then they set up a meeting there on the right. All right, so email signature. If all of this sounds kind of overwhelming to record your own personal video, you can hire a professional. So you could hire me, and this is an example. And so of my equipment, what it looks like when I'm doing an about video. And this is a past client, Aldrich Wealth, and they have a whole team of wealth advisors. And so we recorded about videos for every single one of them, and then we combined that into a whole team video. So starting to think about maybe you have other sales professionals that you work with, and you can combine all of those, and so people can meet your entire team and know that there's a team working with them, and yeah, it's just a good way of showcasing that personality. So you can scan that, you can watch the about video I made for that team, and there's just different levels to this. And so if you're a sales professional, it's just however much time and money and effort you want to put into it. So I say at the very bare minimum, recording yourself on your phone, that's just step one, having something. But the other tiers would be like, hey, that was a really successful video. Let's hire someone to make some really high quality professional. And you can see with my cameras here, it's that depth of field, that blurry background, nice crisp, person in focus, and then I'm using like state of the art audio capture, and it's going to be edited and looks really nice and polished. But it depends on your audience and how you want to meet them. Here's another case study. We just have a couple slides left. Case study of a gardener here in Portland, Oregon, who sells vermicompost tea and gardening starts and gives educational tips on how to start your own garden. And so they're called red-thumb.com. And if you scan, you'll be able to watch the about video made for them. And yeah, it's pretty high level production, doing graphics on the on the front and then the end, and you have me holding the camera, so it creates, so you don't have to be out there holding it. And then I edited everything and added shots called B-roll over the top to, like, so when you're talking about, I mean, for example, he's talking about vermicompost tea. When he's actually talking about the tea, you can show that on screen. But that's pretty advanced, and I think at the bare minimum, just having a video of you recording you're about. But the next level is to show some of these graphics and to start reinforcing some of what talked about earlier, brand. And so their brand is that yellow and red color tones, and they have a logo. So putting that throughout the video reinforces your brand a bit more. All right, that was a lot of information. I felt like I was just talking for a while, and I appreciate everyone for bearing on the Zoom call this morning and listening in. Does anyone have any specific questions? All the slides they are available right now currently at tactusmedia.com/slides. If there was anything I went through quickly, but are there any questions that answer everything? And I'll look at the chat. Oh yeah, do you play guitar at the end? I do play a little bit of guitar. That's another way of kind of showcasing my personality. I don't play well. I just have a little 1 year old, so I'll play like row, row, row your boat and just whatever comes to mind. Maybe some country road. Take me home, country road. Oh yeah, thank you, Ali. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. This is it's so nice to have an audience. Talking to an empty room can be tough, but it's looking out, and thank you for the interaction. I'll have the recording available and I'll send that out to everyone. And if you found that information was helpful, I dive a bit deeper. This was just for sales and marketing professionals, but I dive deeper into just video strategy overall, which is one of my passions, in some of the previous presentations. And we do have some more webinars coming up here in the future. If for some of you that are following, I've postponed the April one. I have another event happening in April. So the rest of the summer, this is what we have to look forward to, which is mind blowing to think that we're already thinking about summertime. But brand infusions, how to really take your branding to the next level. So we briefly talked about it today, but having a logo, putting a logo on your video, intros, outros, all of that, and then templating and how to streamline this process. And then in June, we're going to be talking about advanced video practices, which is just going down the rabbit hole. I like that. My hobby is crashing webinars. Hey, that's a good. Hey, you've been a good guest. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, this is a free webinar. It's a good way for people to get knowledge and information, and it's just yeah, it's fun for me sharing it. It helps. I learn a lot through teaching. And then in July, budgeting for video, and then August, video meets design. Those are two of my passions. Is like how to make graphics and things that are aesthetic, and then combine that with a well-told, a good story crafted video. And you can use the QR code, which will take you to the link tree. And here is my website again. These are my main platforms. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah, always looking to help out other people. If you have any questions, or even if yeah, maybe you recorded your first video and you want to share and you just want to get an extra set of eyes and ears, I'm happy to give feedback. And yeah, I know it can be a daunting experience recording your first video, but just bear in mind, maybe it's just for yourself. You record it, and we're always our own worst critic. I think that's the biggest thing is that we're always so much more You're like, oh my gosh, is that what I sound like? Is that what I look like? And then keep in mind, most people are watching. And they watch for like the 30 seconds, and they go on with their day. I think we build things up in our minds bigger than they actually are, and so. It's just a way for people to it's just one more tool in your toolkit, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'll leave that with you. Is like perfection is actually not necessary. It's overrated. So if you stumble, or maybe a car goes by, just keep going, and maybe that's the take that you use is don't as you're speaking, try to just continue it out. Don't end early just because you're self-filtering. Try to do your entire script or say all your points all the way throughout, even if you have a little hiccup. Kind of like when you're playing music. I think when they say don't try to just continue playing even when you make mistakes. Just keep playing, and that's actually more beneficial than every time you make a mistake, stopping and starting all over again from the beginning. So, yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been a good morning. Like I said, I worked through the night on the slides, and hopefully this was helpful. Feel free to connect with me, and I'm excited to hear how everyone's video goes. And I'll see you in May.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. Thanks, Allie.
Bye.
Thank you, Knowledge Strategy. All right, till next time. Bye.